I truly think there's a newfound respect for Russell Westbrook in regards to Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi, over the years, especially, through the media, especially with Skip, and a lot of people have made it to where there's a beef between him and Russell Westbrook because he didn't want Russ on his team as a second superstar a few years ago when Russ was on OKC and wanted to team up with Kawhi or something like that. And Kawhi never, reached back out. I think the media made more out of it than what it needed to be, but I definitely, and I definitely know now that, based upon the reports and, Kawhi speaking on Russell Westbrook re-signing with the Clippers, I definitely see now that, I can understand more. There's more respect there, even more respect than what it might have been in the past. You know what I'm saying? Because here, as you see, Kawhi Leonard says he wanted, he's happy that, Russell Westbrook came back, and he's an important piece to what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish. Having a Hall of Fame point guard, who has a dominance to him and, wants to be there and loves the culture and took less money to be there. Russ took like $8 million or something like that to be on the Clippers. So, the man got to get some credit for that, because I don't know if I would have did that, for any team, especially being at the stature of where Russell Westbrook is and the type of star player that he is and as popular as he is and all that. He definitely could have got at least 20 plus million from a lot of other teams. Even though his stock is not as high as it once was, it's still high enough to get more than 8 million from a team for 2 years, I think. So, that says a lot about Russ and, a lot about the player that he's trying to be now, more than rather the player he used to be in the past. And I think Kawhi notices that, Kawhi notices that he wants to win. He doesn't really care about the accolades and getting the triple doubles, because all that's good when people are praising you, but they're always going to sit there and bash you because you didn't win a championship. And they're going to some going to sit there and say, oh, the triple doubles were set up because Steven Adams moved out the way and allowed him to get some of the rebounds, in which, to be honest, I was one of the ones who said that some years ago, because that was the report. And I definitely saw some games where I felt like that's what was happening. So not only it was reported, but I actually felt like I actually saw with my own two eyes where I saw, players move out the way and let Russ get the rebound, let him go coast to coast and get the triple double. So he'll be able to average it for, I think, the second season. I actually saw that some games. So, we can go back and forth with that. But even still, he accomplished it. It was still great. And I'm not taking that away from him. I'm just saying that winning championships or winning a championship would put the icing on the cake for his career, along with his counterpart, Paul George. So, Kawhi can really help two superstar star players in the NBA get their first credibility in regards to a championship, along with validating himself even more than what he's already validated. Kawhi's already validated, but further etch his name in the elite category of the elites of all time by adding another championship to his resume. And I definitely like the fact that, Kawhi is has been willing to open up to this whole thing, because the media does a lot of talking, and, it might not have ever been nothing between him and Russell Westbrook. The media just trying to beef up something and trying to, stir something up, but there's nothing there to stir. It just is what it was. They never became teammates. It never transpired. They never, was on the same team, and that is what it is. But I definitely feel like, Kawhi has opened up a lot more. I will say this. I feel like Kawhi, I feel like he didn't look at Russ in the most highest regard in regards to a basketball IQ type player. But of course, I always thought it was respect for Russell Westbrook, because he is a great player, just like Kawhi is a great player. So the respect has always been there. I just feel like he never looked at Russ as a high IQ basketball player, because he was going after triple doubles and all that instead of focusing on winning. So, maybe now that Russ has been in the locker room with Kawhi, around these guys, they see how Russ really is, the motivation that he brings, the energy he brings. I feel like it's contagious, and I feel like they love it. I feel like Kawhi loves it, and I feel like Kawhi wants to win for Russ, and I feel like it's vice versa, and vice versa with Paul George. And I feel like they can put something together here and really make a push for it. I just need them to stay healthy, because, honestly, even without Russell Westbrook, I think Kawhi and PG could win a championship without Russell Westbrook. I really think they could. I really believe they could, because They're just two dynamic players on both ends of the floor. Most teams don't have two star players who play both ends of the floor. Most teams don't have that. They got star players that play one end of the floor, but not both. And that's the thing. When you have that type of star power or that type of, magnitude on both ends of the floor, you definitely are in great contention. And you add somebody like Russell Westbrook, if he cut down the turnovers, this team is in really good position if he cuts down the turnovers and gives them about, 14, 15 points and about 8 assists a game, with about 1 or 2 steals and about, maybe about like, maybe 6, 7 rebounds. Something like that. They would be in great hands if they can get that from Russell Westbrook with less turnovers and being more cognizant of what he's doing on the floor and not being reckless. The Clippers would possibly damn near run through the West if they had a Russell Westbrook that was like turnover free almost. So, that's kind of wishful thinking, but hey, anything is possible. So I leave it there. But I definitely think Russ can, he brings something to this team that they didn't have. They didn't have a guy, or at least in a while, I don't think they had a guy who brings the type of energy Russ, brings to their locker room. He gets along well with the younger crowd, the younger guys, along with the veterans, because he is one, and he just relates to everybody in a way to where they like playing with him. And to me, that's the best way to build chemistry and camaraderie. And we've been talking about the Clippers the last few years. The one thing that they have never been able to build much due to injury is camaraderie, chemistry, the continuity. The buddy system on the level of we're all here for one. We're here to battle for each other every night, and this is what we do, and we all know the game plan. They never really had that, too much in that. In their operation. But now adding Russell Westbrook, I definitely could see how it could be more together with the team. And even I had a lot of issues with Russell Westbrook coming onto the team and things like that. But, now you have to look at it for what it's worth. He's there. He's going to continue to be there, and he wants to be there, and he's playing with a different mindset, I believe. And when, you got guys playing with different mindsets, it just makes things a whole lot easier in regards to trying to build and trying to push for higher things in regards to trying to win championships. So I personally think that, with him being there, it's not a harm. It can only do good if, Russ can, find a way to cut down some of his turnovers and give them more of a chance to win more games through his gameplay and how he execute plays, rather than, being reckless at times and not understanding the moment in situations. And that's the biggest challenge Russ is going to have. He's got to understand situations where the Clippers just don't need you to turn the damn ball over at this point in time, because they're trying to win a championship, and you can be hindering them from getting to that step because of your antics. And if Russ understands that, if he kind of figures that out and finds a role to where, he can do a little bit less of that, I'm telling you, the Clippers would be so far ahead of a lot of other teams. It wouldn't even be close. And that's the reason why I think the Clippers, with the Malcolm Brogdon thing, they were going after him, because they kind of wanted that counterbalance of Russ is going to give us a lot of turnovers. He's going to give us a lot of good, but we need a point guard that's well-rounded too, who can go out there and give us more good than bad and play in control and allow the offense to flourish the way it should with those two dynamic star players in Kawhi and PG. And that's the reason why I think Malcolm Brogdon's name came up, and the reason why the Clippers were trying to trade for Malcolm Brogdon, regardless of keeping Russell Westbrook. They were trying to trade for Malcolm Brogdon because they need a point guard who's more in control of his thoughts and his gameplay and how he execute plays in big moments of games, especially playoff games. And Malcolm Brogdon never won a championship or anything like that, but he plays so in control of his game all the time, and he's a pretty good knockdown shooter. He can definitely stretch the floor, something that Russ is going to have to work on a little bit too, because they're going to need him to knock down some threes. Not saying he can't, but they're going to need him to knock down some threes, some big ones. You know what I'm saying? If he's going to be the starting point guard for the Clippers, in which we all know he's going to be, unless they trade for somebody like a James Harden, which that might alter some things if they trade for him. But my point is, if Russ is going to be the starting point guard, knocking down that three and stretching the floor is going to be huge for the Clippers as well. So they're going to need that from him, and he's going to have to step up. He really is. As much as a lot of Russell Westbrook fans out there, want to give him credit and give him a pass, it ain't no pass on this one, because he's played with so many superstars, so much talent in this league. And we're talking the best of the best he's played with. LeBron, Kawhi, PG, James Harden, Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? Like, he done played with a lot of people. So, I mean, I know it's hard to change a player in all these many years of him playing, but Russ is going to have to pick it up if this team wants to win a championship, because they're riding on him way too much, because he's the starting point guard for this team. It's not like he's the point guard coming off with the second unit. If Russ is coming off with the second unit, things would be a whole lot different with the Clippers. I'm talking tremendously different, because maybe they would have went about it a different way trying to go after a Malcolm Brogdon, and they would have him. You know what I'm saying? Even also with James Harden. But because they want to keep Russ in the starting lineup, they're trying to go about ways of acquiring people and giving up so much less not to get them, because they feel like they have everything they need for their starting line. They're trying to find something on the back end for their second unit, and teams are not going for that. So, like I said, there's a lot riding on Russ. So, I mean, with Kawhi being happy that he came back and everything, I'm happy that he's back. I know PG is, but it needs to result into a championship. That way, everybody, the fans, will be happy as well. Because I don't think a lot of fans going to be happy with Russ being there and they don't win, hypothetically, if Russ, let's say they're in a game 7 in the playoffs, and, Russ has 8 turnovers, 11 points, 7 assists, or something like that. You see what I'm saying? Because you know who the blame is going to go on. Oh, they had a point guard who kept the ball, or who didn't turn the ball over as much, maybe the Clippers would have won that game 7, went on to the next round. It's going to be that. So Russ is going to have to own a lot of this. He's going to have to step his game up. He really is. If he wants to win a championship. And I'm going to show you guys, and I know you guys know, but this is different between championship point guards and point guards in the league. A championship point guard is a lot different than a superstar, a regular or a superstar point guard. You can have a superstar point guard put up a lot of points, but don't ever win anything, because his decision making doesn't help his team elevate to another level. And this is the thing: is Russ' decision making, is it going to get better for the Clippers to help them elevate to another level? Because even though you got Kawhi and PG, you can't keep relying on them to bail you out of every situation as the Clippers organization, because you got 2 stars. You need a valuable point guard to run the offense efficiently and make things work. Not just, okay, here, Kawhi, here you go, PG. Just go out there and score 40 so we can get back in this game. Y'all score 40 apiece so we can get back in this game and we can win it and move on to the next. It's not going to work like that, because that puts too much pressure on them. That's what probably causes them to keep getting hurt, because Ty Lue's putting way too much on them when you can give them more balance in their offensive attack. And Russ is going to need to be that balance. He's going to need to knock down threes at a higher clip. He's going to need to turn the ball over a lot less. And I know that's asking for the mountain. That's asking for everything. Plus, I know it's asking for a lot. But Russ is going to have to do that if this team wants to win a championship. And that's bottom line. But hey, leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And we'll talk about it.